Hi guys, I am back and I am starting on the my design team project for Crafty Cat for May. And I actually just realized that that mat is like completely messed up. See what happens when I clean? All right, so I'm using several of her kits in this journal, and I think once I show you some of the other stuff, you'll be like, oh yeah, now I remember. Okay, so I'm using Diorio, and sorry, I've already cut all the ephemera pieces out and inked most of those. And you'll remember why here in a little bit. So I actually have to go back and ink around those. And so here's like the ephemera that comes with them and some pockets. And some little ephemeras here. Okay, and then these are the luscious backgrounds. Or pages, I should say. So I'm gonna, all of these are printed on parchment paper. And that parchment paper you can just get at Walmart, and it comes in a box of like 100, I think, or no, it's not 200. It's like 100, maybe. And it's not too awful much, but it just really lends a nice color to these. And I'm sorry, I usually bring along kits that I print on parchment. I print it on white so you can see it as well there, but I didn't this time. So sorry about that. Are those beautiful? So this kit is Diorio. Okay, and then I'm using, let's set this aside. Then I'm also using her brand new kit, Regal. And I've already cut out the ephemera pieces. I haven't inked anything yet because I'm not sure exactly what we're going to use. And sorry about the lighting. I don't know what it is, but we're having a power surge. And, oh, this is a little pocket that we'll make up for the kit. And, yeah, and I think it's 2 or 3 pages of ephemera. And then the kit also comes with her fun little slanted pocket, a little pocket there. I did not line them because we're going to do something a little bit different, I think, here in the inside. And honestly, I forgot to do it. And then yeah, just a couple more little pieces of ephemera here, some little tags and some pockets. And then I've also printed it on the parchment paper here. It's gorgeous. I love the colors, and I love it on the parchment paper. It's beautiful. It's a very rich in color kit, just like the Diorio. So I think that's, these are some collage papers, or I forgot what she called them, but basically like collage papers. And it really is that rich. Very beautiful, huh? Yeah, I love both of these kits. And then there may be a few of the cabinet card kit. There might be a couple of the cabinet card pictures in this one, but I'll tell you if there is. But if you'll remember back to my brown challenge and all the brown pieces we made, oh, and here's some of the tags. Okay, so one of the other kit that I'm going to be using is the sketches, and I think I told you in those videos. See, these are all the pockets that we made together. Oh, there's some of my cute little butterflies. Yeah, these were all like pockets and stuff, and these are all just like little somethings, stamps, kind of. And I still have yet to find my cancellation stamp, guys. I organized it well. I organized myself right out of knowing where it is. Okay, and then these little guys here. Oh, I know why. These are separate because they're not stitched. And sorry guys, some of this journal is going to be stitched and some are not, because my sewing machine has finally like given up the ghost, and there's not really anybody open yet for repair. And the machine I ordered, we ended up having to cancel the order because they wanted to send me this other machine, and because they didn't have the machine I ordered. And Yeah, so we'll get into that in a little bit. So then, yeah, these are some of the pockets that we made here. And it looks like those are some bases. And here's some side tucks with the pockets here. So we'll have to make some ephemera for that because I don't think I got to that point. And then this one also is like a little belly band. I think we kind of went through that. And then there is, I will be using a little bit of, or not even a little bit, a lot of, I won't say a lot either, of Gail Augustinelli's Orchardist, I believe is the name of the kit. And then this is the one that goes on the page like this, which we'll get to that. So there's 2 of those pockets. And then this is the Orchardist one that I just backed some of them on cardstock. Or, yeah, craft cardstock. And these I had printed at 5x7 size, I believe. But if you're curious, and it looks like I'm gonna have to lay some of those flat. Anyways, if you're curious on what it was, we can go back and look at that video. And it's the 60-minute challenge for brown. So, and then there's just, oh, this must be, I'm not sure which kit this is out of now. Oh, nope, you know what? This one came from, not Happy Mail, in an order from Shell Radcliffe. And it's like a weather card. So I thought that would go cute. That's why when I was organizing, I saw it and wanted to use it. And then one of the sketch pockets there. Yeah, so, and then here's some just like little bits and pieces I had left over that I didn't make into stamps. So, all right, guys, I am going to pause this and use this as the intro. And then when I come back, we will start putting together the journal. And I am not using other book pages in this one. So it'll just be like tea and coffee stain papers and then the kit papers. So let me put together my signatures and then we will be back and we will start to decorate. All right, guys, see you in a minute. All right, guys, I am back. I have the signature and the cover both ready. Not sewed in or anything because I know we have some newbies and I know I've done it before. So if you've seen me do this, just like fast forward, I just want to make sure that the tips that I've learned are like being passed on so that, you know, it might help somebody new. So the things I use for binding with a spine is you can measure out your signatures all day long, but for me, I don't work well that way. So I take graph paper the size of my spine. Let's move this cover back over here. So I know my spine is 2 inches wide because that's what I cut it to because I built this spine. And my book is 8.5 inches tall. So this is 8.5 by 2 inches, okay? So that said, this is how I do my spine work. Okay, so first I fold it over in half. And you can do this with regular paper if you don't have graph paper. It will work pretty much the same. I just like graph paper because it works well with my eyes. Okay, so we have exactly in the middle height-wise. Okay, so I only have 2 signatures. So what I'm going to do now is I know this is the middle. So from the middle to here, I want to kind of find where that middle is. And it works out good this time because it's right here, right? So there's 1, 2, the line 1, 2, and there's our middle. So what I'm going to take with my graph paper is I'm going to fold it up to that second line and it'll hit just about right in the middle. Okay. Okay, like so. So I have that line. Now we know that it's to be right in the middle. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fold it to that second line again, maybe. Oh, fiddly little paper. Okay. a little too much. There we go. Okay. Now, so we have our 2 lines going this direction, okay? Now, I'm doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I'm going to fold it up in directly in half. Make my fold there, okay? I'm going to bring it down. And then I'm going to bring this bottom piece up to the middle fold there, okay? Crease it there. I'm going to open it back up and bring this piece to here. And I'm going to crease it down. Okay, now you're going to take a pen or a pencil or whatever. I do actually like to use pencil because when you're poking in your holes, if you use permanent marker to do this or a pen, sometimes if your fabric is light, it will bleed onto, it will bleed on like into your stuff. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is right there is where our creases are, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show you effectively. Okay, so there's a line like right here. That's one of our crease marks, and then that was one of our crease marks, okay? Can you see that? Okay, so then we're going to find the other one that we made, and it's right here. See, there's the line there, and there's the line. Oh. Okay. Now, the middle one is usually kind of the hardest one to find. Okay, so it's right here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why, but the middle ones are always kind of hard to find. Okay, so then we have our 3 holes that we want to make. Now, I always label the top, okay? And what that helps you do by labeling the top, when you're putting in your signatures, you're going to want to put your you want this signature, your first signature, to have these holes, and your second signature to have these holes, because it will help you line everything up, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take my awl, and you know, sometimes what I do, and this may help you, is I make sure that everything's pretty, you know, there's a lip there, and there's a lip there, and I might scoot it down, just kind of trying to eyeball it just a little bit. Okay, and then I will take a clip and clip it in. Usually just one side, but that kind of holds it in where I want it to. So then I have a mat underneath. You may want to consider that, but I don't, because I usually hold my book up. And then you just punch your holes. And you could put a clip down at the bottom too to hold all of it in instead of holding it here. So once I poke the hole, I'm going to come up here, being careful not to move anything. Okay. Hold and punch. I'm going to scoot that over here so I have more control over it here. Okay, so and then the same thing with the signatures. And I'm going to go ahead and pause the video because you guys, I always dither. Do you guys need to see that or not? Nope, I think I'll go ahead and pause the video and get my signatures in, and then we'll come right back. All right, guys, be back in a minute. Okay, so I have all that bound in, and then I have had lately some questions about what I use for binding. And I'm going to tell you that I use several things to bind, and I'll tell you why I use them, and then maybe that will help you decide on what kind of bindings you like to use. Okay, so what I used for this one is hemp string, and it is not wax coated per se, but it does have a little wax in it, if that makes a little sense. Like, I've never had wax thread, but from what I hear, it's very waxy. And sometimes it can rub on these things right here. I've never used it. I know a couple of creators who do use it, so I don't know. Can't give you an opinion about wax thread. This by far is my favorite thing to bind with. And where I get this is, I usually get mine at Walmart. It's like a pack of 4 or 5 colors, and the original card's about this tall, and it's got like a green, like a forest, or not forest green, like a minty, naturey green, and then there's usually like a variegated one that has like a light, like natural color and that green, and then there's usually a natural color, this and black in it. That is by far my favorite one to bind with. I'm sure they sell it in bulk. Like I said, it's just hemp string. So that's my favorite to bind with. But I have also bound with floss, and I use floss a lot when I'm doing like mini journals. The only thing you have to watch though is that, like, the embroidery floss has however many, 6 strands or whatever in there. So when you're putting it on your needle and stuff, always make sure that you get all of those into the needle, and then when you're binding, that none of them are like fraying or breaking, because that will eventually affect the integrity of your journal and the strength of the spines. Okay, the other thing that I have used, and it's same with the floss, I reserve this kind of stuff that you can get at the dollar store for lighter weight journals that just have like notebook papers and copy papers, nothing overly heavy. Okay, I think over time this stuff will end up breaking down and breaking on you more than, say, like the hemp will. Okay, just opinions, guys. If that's what you use and you love it and you don't have any issues long term with it, then keep using what works best for you. This is just really for like beginners. Okay, so this is also a cotton threading, very similar to this, only it's got more of a weave, and I use this a lot in Christmas journals, because in my, like, I love the way it looks. Some other journals I will use it if I want a little bit more spice or, you know, oomph decoration in this, because this still would have looked nice on this one to pull the gold hues out, see? So I could have used this one too. The reason I used this is because I've inked everything in the walnut stain, and so I think overall it will blend really nice with that. Okay, so this is very nice. The only problem I ever have with it is making sure that this gold is threaded in the needle too, so that it doesn't like unwind through it. It's very sturdy. I mean, like, you can't really pull it apart. I like it. In my opinion, it's a decent alternative to all these others. And like I said, I use them in Christmas journals and that sort of thing because I think it spices it up. And you can get this, like, you could just get it like just the cream without the gold, and they have a silver, and then I used the black too. I think I used the black on one of the latest journals too. So yeah, I mean, it's a good heavy duty cotton thread. So I've used that too, and I have good luck with it. I've never heard a complaint about any of my threads or my spines breaking or not being sturdy. So yeah, in my opinion, you know, I mean, unless it has happened and nobody's reported it to me, but yeah, those are the things I use for binding. And of course I use a blunt needle, to do that. Usually, it's usually like, I think they call them carpet yarns is, what it is that I usually use. Okay, so I am actually going to go ahead and call this a video. I know it wasn't maybe necessarily productive for those of you who've been with me for a while and seen all of this. But yeah, so like I said, I've got the signatures in the next video, we are going to start decorating. All right, guys, I hope you're having a fabulous day and staying safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.